the thing. I'm doing the bit now. I'm doing the theme tune.
I'm gonna moan until
You're gonna sing. You're gonna sing the theme tune.
Spooky, spooky, spooky theme tune. Spooky, spooky theme tune.
Interdimensional Blizzard says everyone's getting banned after this episode. Yeah,
spooky, spooky tune. Spooky, spooky tune.
If me or Hobbit commit suicide, if me or Hobbit commit suicide, it's not us.
But you know, you do that thing where you say we're not suicidal, never have been, never was. Because that's important for people to know that, but we're not that thing. Tell you what I am though is heartburn. Yep.
I'm alive.
All right. Champing at the bit. Literally champing at the bit.
I'm literally champing on Lidl's fruit nut.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff. That is. I got they were doing a Greek themed thing. Yeah, so they had like a lemon drizzle cake with almond flour in it. And so I thought that's pretty good. What if I just make a new theme tune, which is Black Beauty, but I'm singing on it, spooky stuff and true crime, and occasionally talking about aliens, but not today, because it's about... Oh, well, actually, no, I wouldn't make it topic specific, because then I'd have to write new lyrics every time, and that's a pain in the arse. I didn't mind doing it in those few episodes of Banter Nationalism, where, we had the Who Lives in a House Like This. That was a fun sing along. That was.
Oh, Damien's in. Evening, Damien.
Speaking of fun sing along, did you know apparently Brooksy really doesn't like Phil anymore because Phil's a Russia simp?
Did you know Lidl also do a Mark almond cake drizzled with spunk?
Yeah, that makes sense. Or is it like creme, sugary cream?
Probably some sort of cream.
Yeah, they do good stuff. Lidl does.
Something's gotten hold of my cock.
They do these Spanish cream buns.
Do you remember that song, Hobbit? Something's got a hold of my heart.
Oh,
Mark Almond and Gene Pitney.
Okay.
Taking my soul to a beautiful land. Do you remember them?
No, that's new to me.
Oh, I'll have to dig it out for you. You'll love it, Hobbit.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
UK number one in 1989, says Alphabet Cat.
Well, there we go. I mean, if it's UK number one, it's got the Jimmy Savile seal of approval. Then.
Oh, do you also do a Mark Lamar cake? Never heard of it. I've lost it. What happened to Mark Lamar?
Oh, well, he got accused, and I don't know whether it's true or not, so I'm going to say allegedly, because I actually like him, of kidnap, false imprisonment, and assault.
All right. Busy boy then.
Yeah. I don't know who accused him of it or what happened, but the thing is, I was contracted to do some work for him. He said he hadn't got a car, and I said, all right, well, we'll try and arrange transportation of the item he wants. Yeah, we were going to service an instrument, a tool. Yeah, we're going to service a tool, what he uses. Not going to say what it is.
Sexual now, Hobbit.
Yeah, we're going to service his Dildomatic Arsemaster 5000. Which, for legal reasons, I'm not allowed to tell you what it is because it's also very doxy. And it was fun, actually, because he emailed in a video of him using it. I'm just like, I'm surprised it's working at all. It's amazing. I can't even get into the specifics of the bodge he made to this machine for it to keep on using it. Because I'm just like, put it this way, I've never seen that machine... And it's been used in, I can't even say what industry it's used in, but I've seen this machine being used in all sorts of places. I'm just thinking...
A number of different places.
a number of places. He must have had the hands of a gorilla for it to be in such a poor state. Is all I'm going to say.
Fortean Ian says, Lamar used to come in my pub on Highbury Corner, used to sit there drinking and smoking by himself.
I could imagine Ian running a pub.
And that was before his alleged incident.
Yeah. Which also mean at some point, because I couldn't find the invoice of it, but apparently it was done off the
If it was
books.
after, I would have kicked him out, said Ian.
Oh, right. Well, again, it's alleged, and as far as I know, nothing came of it, so maybe it was a false accusation. And it is one of those times where I will say allegedly, because I like Mark Lamar. I think he's the best thing to come out of Swindon. I'm trying to think of
Mark
anything
Lamar's
else that's
from
come out of
Swindon.
Swindon. Oh, you got like Carl of Swindon as well. Him.
I can't think of anybody else. Can you?
No, that's it. You got. Oh, there's Melinda Messenger. She's from Swindon.
Mm.
She's all right.
Ian's on Strictly No Rapist policy.
Well, in Mark Lamar's defence, it's not rape if they push back. So
anyway, why are you avoiding the fact that
atheist.
Jerry Nadler shit himself to hide from the fact that that Hillary Clinton did a body count?
Yeah, Jerry Nadler shit himself was no. In fact, the Clinton body count was to distract from Jerry Nadler shitting himself.
No, Jerry Nadler was distracting from the Clinton body count.
But the joke is everything is a distraction from Jerry Nadler shitting himself.
No.
Oh, okay. But so this is the one exception to the rule of Jerry Nadler, in this case, actually shit himself to distract from the fact that the Clintons are busy murdering people.
Yeah.
And they're using politics as an excuse to do their hobby, which is murder. And all of this is allegedly in Minecraft, and we're schizophrenics who don't take our meds.
Yeah.
So nothing that we say is to be taken seriously because it's all just like...
It's all japes. It's all jokey japes. It's all japes.
Yeah, it's some jokey japes, and like that thing with Riker from Star Trek say, it's a joke, we made it up, it's fiction. This one's on us. It never happened. It's not real. Just... maybe we should just have that on a loop in the background underneath it. So that's when it's played in court, a solicitor can say, well, Your Honour, do you hear that bit when they're saying it's fiction, they all made it up?
So anyway, let's start. Should we start with the facts? Because I've got some facts here.
Oh, have we got Snopes?
We should start with the facts. So anything after this is contrary to Snopes and therefore not true.
Yes.
Decades-old political rumour claims Bill Clinton quietly did away with several dozen people who possessed...
How many decades?
Don't know. The Snopes...
decades.
Snopes don't want to know, because it's old decade. It's all... Bill Clinton has quietly done away with several dozen people who possessed incriminating evidence about him, is the claim.
Well, when did
rating
decades...
Snopes, of course, because Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton are absolutely innocent. Snopes say it's false.
So this is decades old, but if it's decades old, that means it didn't just happen yesterday. It happened some point more than a year ago.
What do you mean it didn't just happen? It didn't just happen at all, ever, at all, in any way, shape, or form.
So, I mean, again, I'm not trying to be Columbo here because obviously it never happened and it's all false and not real. But there's got to be like some point where you've got to say...
it can't be decades long because it didn't happen of it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. But if the claim is if there's an aspersion being made that it's like decades old, that means like at some point it was like when someone's making the claim, it's like oh well that's years old, that claim, and then some point someone would say oh that's months old, oh that's weeks old, oh that's days old, oh that's hours old, oh that's minutes old. At some point there had to be an origin to this unsubstantiated conspiracy theory. Yeah. Which is unsubstantiated and therefore not true. But we're crazy, and anybody that questions this is crazy. And I just Like, for the record, I'd like it to be known that I don't believe in this, and it's not true.
Yeah.
And please
Couldn't
please
possibly
don't
true.
kill
Not Hillary. She's beautiful, wonderful lady.
please don't send Matt Damon around to run me off the road when I'm driving on a
Yeah.
Sunday night to the supermarket, because, like, how am I gonna, like, try and, like, go to the police, right, and say, Matt Damon's trying to kill me, and they'll be like, yeah, sure, a famous celebrity's trying to kill you. Stop wasting our time.
So anyway, let me finish with the facts, and then we'll go into some rumor, made up stuff, complete myth. We're joking. It's not real. It didn't really happen.
None of it's real.
Yeah. Multiple versions of lengthy lists of deaths associated with Bill Clinton have been circulating online for about 20 years now. So decades. It's 2 decades.
All right. Well, that is decades. Yeah.
Including the latest iteration titled "The List of Clinton Associates Who Allegedly Died Mysteriously. Check It Out." According to those lists, close to 50 colleagues, advisors, and citizens who were about to testify against the Clintons died in suspect circumstances, with the unstated implication that Bill Clinton or his henchmen were behind each untimely demise. So, Snopes, obviously, at Snopes, we shouldn't have to tell anyone not to believe this claptrap, but we will anyway. Claptrap nonsense. We made it up in a frenzied
character in Borderlands.
In this frenzied media climate where the chief executive couldn't boff a White House intern about the whole world finding out every niggling detail of each encounter and demanding his removal from office.
Call it with the anti-African remarks.
No, he's talking about Bill Clinton when he shagged Monica Lewinsky.
I thought you said niggling.
He said, "Are we seriously to believe the same man had been having double handfuls of detractor and former friends murdered with impunity? I think not." See, Snopes just like the voice of reason. Don't be swayed by the number of names listed on screeds like this. Any public figure is bound to have a much wider circle of acquaintance than an ordinary citizen would. Moreover, the acquaintanceship is often one-sided, though many of the people enumerated on this list might properly claim to have known Clinton. He wouldn't know or remember having met a great number of them. So there you go.
Well, hang on. I mean, whilst everything Snopes says is true, factual, 100% the truth.
Yeah.
The claim that it's a one-sided relationship, with these acquaintances. Well, Seymour Hersh had a one-sided relationship with all the people what he done shot, but they don't count because they're all Russian. You see that it's okay.
What about the supreme gentleman himself? All those people he stabbed, that was a one-sided relationship, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that's like that's not a good defense for, like, wow, he didn't know all those people what he done killed allegedly.
But Hobbit, you say? Is that you, Hobbit, saying body count lists are a new phenomenon?
Yes.
Body count lists are not a new phenomenon. Lists documenting all the allegedly suspicious deaths of persons connected with the assassination of John F. Kennedy have been circulating for decades, and the same techniques used to create and spread the JFK lists have employed in the Clinton version.
I heard the crazy, unsubstantiated rumor that Marilyn Monroe was ordered killed by what's his name? JFK? Yeah, him.
Yeah.
Him what done it. So, because apparently, like, she was gonna say something and it was gonna embarrass JFK, and JFK was like, "Listen here, brah, that's not gonna happen here. See,
it's not gonna happen here. See." So, Hobbit, here's how you make a Clinton. So you want to make a Clinton death list about some woman down the WI that's pissed you off because
I don't, because I wouldn't want to kill anybody. I'm just like the Clintons in that I have no desire to kill anybody.
Exactly, just like the Clintons. Yeah. If like the Clintons, you were determined not to. Here's how you make your own. So you list every dead person with even the most tenuous of connections to your subject. Doesn't matter how these people died or how tangential they were to your subject's life. The longer the list, the more impressive it looks, and the less likely anyone will be to challenge it. By the time readers get to the bottom of the list, they'll be too weary to wonder what could possibly be relevant about the death of people such as Bill Clinton's mother's chiropractor. Next thing you do, Hobbit, you play word games.
Like,
Make
like
sure it.
a
Kind
fancy
of,
term for like someone who makes a kebab, your
yeah,
gyropractor.
yeah.
I like
Uh,
the Greek kebabs.
the
They're better
next thing you
than
do,
Dutch
Hobbit, you
ones.
play word games. Make sure every death is presented as mysterious. All accidental deaths are to be labelled suspicious, even though by definition accidents occur when something unexpected goes wrong. Every self-inflicted death must include the phrase "ruled a suicide" to imply just the opposite. When an autopsy contradicts the mysterious death theory, dispute it. When none was performed because none was needed, claim that no autopsy was allowed. Make liberal use of words such as allegedly and supposedly to dismiss facts you can't support or contradict with hard evidence.
I've just got to correct some factually incorrect statements in the chat. John Elfkicker is saying that Hillary Clinton was subject to Bukkake party at Bohemian Grove. That is actually a false. That's like an
Yeah.
unfact because
Well, has he
girls
got a
aren't
sperm
allowed,
sample from her face?
and also girls aren't allowed at Bohemian Grove anyway. So
Yeah.
there, yeah.
Yeah,
So
because as Nixon said, it's the faggiest goddamn thing he ever saw.
So myth debunked, as they'd say on Mythbusters. You've just been debunked, sir. Good day.
Just
I'll
make
be
sure.
looking.
Also, Hobbit, the next thing you need to do is make sure every inconsistency or unexplained detail you dredge up is offered as evidence of a conspiracy, no matter how insignificant or pointless it may be. But we are going to talk about these mysterious death theories. No autopsy. We're going to talk about these like poppycock. If
Well,
an
the bit
obvious
which I always find interesting with that is like, how do you commit suicide by shooting yourself twice in the back of the head?
We'll find. We might even find out. If an obvious suicide is discovered wearing only one shoe, ignore the physical evidence of self-inflicted death and dwell on the missing shoe. You don't have to establish an alternate theory of the death. Just keep harping that the missing shoe can't be explained. So do you get how like all of this nonsense came up?
Yeah. Oh, this is like false memories. So when the kids say, "Oh, yeah, I was sexually abused and there's my abuse," and be like, "No, you're suffering from false memory. It's not real. You just made it up. You've got an overactive imagination." See?
So if the data doesn't fit your conclusion, ignore it. You don't have to explain why the people who claim to have the most damaging goods on Bill Clinton, e.g. Jennifer Flowers, Paula Jones, Kathleen Willey,
Hang on.
Linda Tripp, Monica Lewinsky, and Kenneth Starr, walked around unscathed while dozens of bit players were supposedly bumped off. It's inconvenient for you. So if all these people are dead, how come some people aren't, Hobbit?
Yeah, but also, if they're saying ignore evidence which doesn't fit your model, they're
Yeah.
condemning the IPCC panel's thing on climate change, where they say, well, we're going to ignore the sun in our climate change prediction models because we say it's got no significant effect on heating in the solar system. Which,
right, most important, Hobbit, don't let facts and details stand in your way. If you can pass off a death by pneumonia as a suicide, do it. If a cause of death contradicts your conspiracy theory, claim it was never determined. If your chronology of events is impossible, who cares? It's not like anyone's going to check up on this stuff.
Is the IPCC trying to defend the Clintons, or are they trying to condemn the IPCC's report on global warming climate change?
Who knows? So, multiple versions of this body count list. I'm doing it in the Snopes because that's the way they'd say it. List have been circulating online for 2 decades now. New victim names are routinely added and old ones taken off, forming endless new permutations. At this point, there is no one official list. But Hobbit, you say, where did all this craziness start? In a 1994 letter to congressional leaders, former Republican William Dannemeyer listed Rep. Is Rep Republican? I think it is. Listed 24 people with some connection to Clinton who had died under other than natural circumstances.
I think it's like holiday representative.
Yeah, and called for hearings on the matter. Dannemeyer's list of suspicious deaths was largely taken from one compiled by Linda Thompson, an Indianapolis lawyer in 1993, her old general practice to run her American Justice Federation, a for-profit group that promotes pro-gun causes and various conspiracy theories through a shortwave radio program, a computer bulletin board, and sales of its newsletter and videos. Her list, called the Clinton Body Count, Coincidence or the Kiss of Death, then contained the names of 34 people she believed had died suspiciously and who had ties to the Clinton family. Thompson admitted she had no direct evidence of Clinton's killing anyone. Indeed, she said the deaths were probably caused by people trying to control the president, but refused to say who they were. Thompson said her allegations of murder seem groundless only because the mainstream media hasn't done enough digging. Hobbit.
I'm going to have to start using a different search engine, because this one's giving me like the opposite of what I'm trying to find.
Yeah. But Hobbit, they had. If not, why do they write like they're talking to you? Like, does that annoy you, Hobbit?
Is it because they're very dumb?
Yeah. If not before she put a list together, at least afterwards. Anyone who continues to state the mainstream media have given these claims short shrift is being disingenuous. Since 1994, various respected news outlets have been confronted with versions of the body count list, run their own investigations of a few of the claims, and found is this literally like didn't they say that throwing away half of the evidence because it's inconvenient is not a good thing to do, Hobbit?
But on the plus side, I have found one Clinton body count which was published 21 years ago, so it's not up to date, but at least it covers some of the deaths.
So, list run their own investigations of a few of the claims and found nothing to substantiate what they looked into. Those investigations will culminate in yet another story about an oddball conspiracy unit. Jesus Christ. The fucking Snopes, wankers, aren't they?
No, you mean the bastions of rational...
I mean, who really writes like this? But conspiracy theories don't die that easily. I mean, who actually writes like this?
People who don't have much respect for the subject matter.
These body count lists. These body count lists. Sorry, I have to go. These body count lists.
These body count lists.
These body count lists and the many suspicious claims contained therein continue to circulate in cyberspace and beyond. Yesterday's newspaper articles are forgotten with next day's delivery, but email lives forever.
Doesn't the term cyberspace like strike you as very artificial, forced? And I've never used the term cyberspace. I've never described any of like, and I spent a lot of time on the
Have you ever described someone as wearing a blouson type jacket? Like, no. I remember that used to be a description you used to get on what's it called?
I've also never said took to when I mean to say yes. Spoke on.
What was the one that Capstan said that nobody uses ever? Capstan said he actually uses one.
Oh, donned.
Donned, yes. No one uses the word donned.
Well, if you're doing something like HEMA, you probably would say it's like, oh yes, I donned on a gorget, and then I put on the shield, and I used some greaves, and I donned my armor. The only time I would say donned is if to put on some PPE. You're like, I'm just going to don this hard hat because the warehouse demands I put it on.
Yeah.
Oh, and that was it. I had to wear something called a bump cap because I was operating inside of a curtain cider. Which, to be fair, I was using the tail lift and I did bump my head on the bar.
Hobbit, I've got a so-called hold on,
conspiracy theory.
I've got a reasonable explanation. So James Dougal, Clinton's convicted Whitewater partner, died of an apparent heart attack while in solitary confinement. He was a key witness in Ken Starr's investigation. James McDougal, a key witness for White. So that's the header, and this is the reasonable explanation. James McDougal, a key witness for Whitewater prosecutors when the investigation centred on an Arkansas land deal in which the president and McDougal were involved.
It's also known as Arkansas to
anybody with autism.
It's like you've got Oxford and you've got Oxfordshire. You don't. It's like you've got Kansas and you've got Arkansas.
Arkansas. Is that like our NHS?
Yeah, exactly. Arkansas is where all the Northerners went when they want to go into Kansas. Kansas is a
As
strange.
opposed to their Kansas, this interdimensional lizard.
His Kansas.
So right then, so McDougal, so he's the key witness.
To
So
be
he
sure,
had a
McDougal.
pre-existing heart condition. Remember that, Hobbit, and died of a heart attack on 8th March. They didn't say the 8th of March. On 8th March, 1998.
Yes.
At least they're
Can
getting
we
better.
just-
At least they managed to put the day before the date.
Yeah.
While
I
in
don't like
solitary
these people
confinement
very much.
at the Federal Medical Center prison in Fort Worth, the alien McDougal had been placed in solitary as a punishment for failing to provide a urine sample for a drug test. On the day before his death, while still in his regular cell, where he had access to his heart medications, he had complained of dizziness, and while being processed for isolation, he threw up. However, once in isolation, he did not ask for his medicines and appeared to guards alert, well orientated, and absent of any visible signs of distress right up until his death. An investigation into the circumstances of his demise did not find the evidence of foul play. Don't forget, these are the people that did not find that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself, aren't they?
Duh.
Yeah.
Why are you using the suspicious tone of voice?
Yeah, but there you go, Hobbit. Like the official thing says that.
Yeah.
So shouldn't Snopes just accept that Donald Trump was their president because he won the election?
Yeah, but no, you see, because
But that's just facts, man.
Because no, not when the facts don't suit you, you're allowed to ignore them. That's how rational.
But Snopes would never do that because they told us they would never do that earlier up. Only weird Google-eyed conspiracy theorists would say something like that.
Yeah. Show them who's boss.
Right. So next one is Mary Moan. Are they actually going to go through? Are they going to? Oh shit! They're going to go through the body count. Snopes are actually going to go through the body count, and they're going to show you how fucking suspicious everything is.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, I don't have to read this 21-year-old one on it.
Yeah. Snopes are going to do it, the crazy fuckers.
What's the next name you got? Because that way I can do my bit, and then it's not just you doing your bit.
Mary Moan. Do you want me to? I'll just.
Mary Moan.
Mary Mahoney. Mohne.
Oh, I've got a Mary Mahoney, and that's the only one I've got here.
Here you go. I'll stick it in the Killary channel. I'll stick it in the Killary channel.
Swiss cows is using German.
Yeah, I know. Grim. I've put it in the Killary channel.
I bet in their office they've got one of those shit inspection shelves.
I bet they have. Their toilets are disgusting.
Ugh. At least they use toilets, which is more than what's the ones that just hole in the ground. Mary Mohane. That's probably the same name as I've got over here. Then
yeah, it's a weird name, isn't it? Moan.
I think it's one of those Irish names.
I think it's a bastardized Irish name. I think it was like a poor spelling it, because the spelling at Ellis Island is the spelling that you're kind of stuck with, isn't it?
Okay. So what's the? Yeah, I've got it here. They've got it as Mahoney. I'll do my bit.
Snopes got it wrong. Snopes got her name wrong. That would be hilarious.
So this is the one I've got from EtherZone. It says Mary Mahoney, 25, murdered at Georgetown Starbucks coffee bar.
No. It says former White House intern Mary Catherine. Oh, right. What Snopes are doing is whoever wrote this list that they're using spelt Mary Mahoney wrong. So they've put in the orange bit they've put Mary Mohan, and they're like, oh, how stupid they are. I can't even spelt Mahoney wrong. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so thank you, Snopes, for that red herring there.
Yeah.
But this is the bit I've got. She was 25, murdered at Georgetown Starbucks coffee bar on the
Yeah.
4th of July, 97 weekend.
Yeah.
She was a former White House intern who worked with John Huang. Apparently, she knew Monica Lewinsky and her sexual encounters with Bill Clinton. Although not verified, it has been said that Lewinsky told Linda Tripp that she did not
Yes,
want
but
to end
Hobbit,
up
you
like
say that,
Mahoney.
but Mary Mahoney did once work as an intern in the White House, but so have hundreds of other people who are still alive.
Right.
Fucking hell,
The,
Hobbit.
the pertinent bit was it's been said Lewinsky told Linda Tripp she did not want to end like Mahoney.
Yeah.
So what was Monica Lewinsky alluding to, or was she just like batshit insane? Because honestly, who would want to suck off Bill Clinton? But I don't know. Women
What's the
be
difference
like
between
that.
what's the difference between a vacuum cleaner and Bill Clinton?
One sucks, the other blows.
Where you attach the bag.
Oh. So it's not a Dyson then?
No.
No. I thought that was a very good joke. I'm here all night.
Yeah, I think that
Well,
was the
at least
USB
until
reader
like-
why that was playing up, because it went straight through when I put it in a different reader.
Yeah, that sounds more sense. Not
Yeah.
related to the Clinton murders, but mounting images for Linux, because
Yeah.
you've taken the Brutus pill, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, no, I'm Raspberry Pi in it, aren't I?
You're going to use Linux on a single board computer.
Yeah.
You've taken your true nationalism starts with free and open source software.
Yeah. I'm going to take the Brutus pill. I was speaking to someone
You're going to put your wife in cages.
What I'm going to do, you know my missus' old computer, the one I took the picture of and sent the picture to you?
Yeah.
I'm going to turn that into a home theatre PC, and I'm going to put Ubuntu on it.
Oh yeah, and you're going to move to Swiss Alps, and
Yeah, with my wife and two kids.
Because ultimately it's a selfish plan.
Yeah.
Do you think he'll write a second Brutus plan when he's in prison?
Do you think that's a book we need to go through on here, or not?
Oh no, because I don't want to go insane. We know the mental health problems of that.
Done with the iced tea reference. Body counts in the house.
Wow, so even Ice-T was talking about it. So it's not as if this is like some deep esoteric knowledge, but
no.
The way Snopes writes it, it's just like only mentals, and that's very racist of them to say that, like mental midgets, like nigger word Ice-T. Oh no, I was trying to use.
So what's the okay? Mary Mahoney. Let's carry on with Mary Mahoney. So she was working in Starbucks. They shot her, but didn't bother taking anything.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
So Snopes says a load of bullshit. Does it mention Monica Lewinsky or the thing she said?
Right. So it says what actually. Yes, it's unusual that 3 employees were killed in the course of a robbery during which nothing was taken. According to Cooper's 26th of April 2000 guilty plea, he received that's one of the murderers were Emery Allen Evans and Aaron David. No, I don't.
That's not a robbery though, because a robbery is when things are taken because the robbers are there to steal things. That's an assassination. But they're trying to say, oh, actually, no, it was a botched robbery.
Well, actually, Hobbit, he went to the Starbucks to rob the place, figuring the receipts from July 4th weekend would make for a fat take. He came in after closing, waved to 38, ordered all 3 Starbucks employees into the back room. Once there, Mahoney made for a run for it after Cooper fired a warning shot into the ceiling, and she was then ordered back to the room, but then went for the gun. Cooper shot her, then afterwards shot the other 2.
Because we're dribbling morons from a country that doesn't have guns, they're banned completely, and you can never see guns in this country. And maybe if I keep saying that enough times, Cap sound will appear going, actually.
Yeah.
But a 38 is a type of gun. I know that.
Yeah.
It's fully semi-automatic. It uses cop killer bullets, and it's got a magazine.
Another Ice-T song, Cop Killer.
Yeah, and it can hold a maximum 38 cop killing bullets in one clipazine, and that's why they called it the 38.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
right, so that's and right away we've come to the first big lie: the Bill Clinton body count list. Any unexplained death can automatically be attributed to President Clinton by inventing a connection between him and the victim.
So this is just an unfortunate consequence. So we're still on Mary Mahoney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what? The other thing they're saying, Mahoney was killed because the absurd justification apparently sprang from a hint dropped by Mike Isikoff of Newsweek just before the Monica Lewinsky scandal broke that a former White House staffer with the initial M was about to talk about her affair with Clinton. Well, so are Snopes actually admitting that Mary Mahoney had an affair with Clinton?
Well, is that alleged, substantiated, or is that an
I
unsubstantiated?
don't know. It seems to be what Snopes are saying.
Yeah.
But the conspiracy theory buffs maintain the White House hitmen rushed out willy-nilly and gunned down the first female ex-intern they could find whose name began with M.
Yeah, that seems. Yeah, I don't know. Snopes is too sarcastic for me.
Oh, the next one is. Do you want to do the next one? Because this is the one that kicked it off for us, wasn't it? Why we decided to do it.
What's the one that
Number two on Snopes, Vincent Foster.
Oh, okay, right. Because the next name I got on my list is Ronald Miller. So what's his name again?
Vincent Foster.
Right, let's see if I can find Vince.
He's the man who shot himself twice in the back of his head.
Oh yeah, here we go. So the thing I've got here from Ethazone says a White House. This is Vincent Foster, a White House deputy counsel and longtime personal friend of Bill and Hillary's, found on the 20th of July, 1993, dead of a gunshot wound to the mouth, a death-ruled suicide. Many different theories on the case. Readers are encouraged to read a report on strange deaths. All right, so if I go to... Oh my God, I've got so many of these windows open and they're not actually pertinent. There is some stuff that is pertinent to it. So I'm just going to look for Vincent Foster. And then let's see what comes up. Vince Foster, the death of Vincent Foster, whatreallyhappened.com. Oh, internal server error. That's a shame. Conservapedia? Does that come up with anything useful? Some facts. If it was suicide, so the facts, it says Foster is said to commit suicide one day after President Bill Clinton took the unprecedented step of firing the head of the FBI. Under the law, the FBI would normally be the agency charged with the investigation of the death of a high-ranking executive branch official. Some FBI field agents have been accused of suspicious activities in the conduct of the three investigations. Various theories surround the odd circumstances in Foster's death. Here is a sampling of some theories most frequently discussed. Foster committed suicide in the office of the White House, and his body was moved by unknown persons to Fort Marcy Park.
Well, it just Foster happens, doesn't it? You know, this sort of thing just happens, bro.
Foster committed
some
suicide.
Sort of conspiracy theorist?
Oh, I'm just reading the facts.
No, Foster committed. You sound like you're inventing crazy conspiracy theories, Robert.
Oh, well, just read these crazy conspiracy theories then. Foster committed suicide in his car in the White House parking lot, and his body was transported to Fort...
don't you?
Yeah, car park. And his body was transported to Fort Macy Park by unknown persons. Foster drove under his own volition to the Fort Macy Park and shot himself. Foster was the victim of a homicide, either in the White House car park, another location, or Fort Macy Park. The statements of the paramedics and those on the scene about the number and nature of bullet wounds in the body conflict with the final reports of the U.S. Park Service and two independent counsels, as do statements about the weapon that was found, among other particulars. And then we got two paragraphs here. If it was homicide and if it was suicide. So if it was homicide, here are a few of the base arguments which imply Foster's death was a premeditated homicide. FBI Director William Sessions was summarily fired by President Bill Clinton one day before Foster's death. He was fired. The FBI, which would have been the lead agency to investigate the death of the highest-ranking executive branch official since the assassination of John F. Kennedy, was in a state of flux and confusion. Webster Hubbell is quoted at the time as saying, "Don't believe a word you hear. It's not suicide. It couldn't have been." Botched investigation and autopsy. One such theory is that Foster was lured to a secret apartment referenced severally by female White House intern with brownish blonde hair for sex, and that either at the location or elsewhere he was executed in a smokeless ball powder, low-velocity bullet, with a smokeless ball powder, low-velocity bullet below the jawline on his right side, leaving the bullet within the cranium. Another bullet was fired into his mouth to make it appear as suicide, and his body transported to Fort Macy car park. So there's two bullets have entered this man. Anyway, so his body was transported to Fort Macy Park, where the Federal Park Service have jurisdiction, and not the local DC Police Homicide Unit. There is no video record of Vince Foster leaving the White House alive on the night of his death. And if it was suicide, these are some of the arguments tending to the conclusion that Foster's death was a suicide. Foster was severely depressed after forwarding instructions from Hillary Rodham Clinton, which resulted in the death and incineration of 17 children and 68 adults in the Waco massacre. Okay, that's interesting. Foster was the weak link in the cabal of Arkansanians, but there's no W in Arkansas, so it's Arkansas. Anyway, Foster was the weak link in the cabal of that state, what the Clinton was governor of, with detailed knowledge of the Whitewater scandal, the Mena, Arkansas dope smuggling operation, money laundering through the Arkansas Development Finance Authority, matters associated with Inslaw, and private investigators hired by Hillary Clinton to intimidate, harass, and blackmail women linked to Bill Clinton sexually. The recent reporting of Foster's state of mind is depression caused by his involvement in the Waco massacre, and Hillary publicly ridiculing him is more reasoned and plausible explanation than the talking points doled out by the Clinton War Room and surrogates at the time. The mainstream narrative for 2 decades was that Foster killed himself because he was depressed over filing Hillary's tax returns. What? How can you be depressed filing the tax returns unless he's like, oh my god, she makes so much money compared to me, and I do all this work, and I'm depressed. I think I'm going to go kill myself now by shooting myself twice in the head. It doesn't make any sense. It's not logical. It does not compute. But we'll have to wait until Hemi reads us the Snopes part. So
you want the Snopes part? If Foster had been murdered, or if unanswered questions about his death remained, Starr would have been the last person to want to conclude the investigation prematurely. Or are we to believe that Kenneth Starr is part of the cover-up too? And if we buy
who's Kenneth Starr?
He's the guy who was prosecuting Clinton over the blowjob.
Oh, okay.
And if we buy into this conspiracy theory, what are we expected to believe? That a group of professional killers capable of furtively carrying out dozens of murders all over the world shot Vince Foster, then clumsily dumped him in a park after he'd bled out, planted a gun he didn't own in his own hand without bothering to press his fingerprints onto it, amateurishly forged a suicide note in several handwritings, then expected the nation would believe his death was suicide?
That's a bit suspect, isn't it? That's suspicious.
Also, there's an actually in here. A note in the form of a draft resignation letter was found at the bottom of his briefcase a week after his death. Note, this letter was not, as his office often claimed, a suicide note. It was Foster's outline for a letter of resignation, you weird conspiracy theorists.
Letter of resignation from life.
Right, so
I resign from life.
Yeah. The next one is C. Victor Reiser II.
Who's that then?
He's the former National Finance Co-Chairman of Clinton for President. Fucking hell.
C. Victor Rise.
Yeah. R.I. Like Kaiser with an R.
De Kaiser.
De Kaiser.
De Kaiser for zero now. Hello, I'm the Kaiser. How do you do?
He died in a plane crash.
You mean he had it coming?
All plane crashes are suspicious because airplanes are supposed to stay in the air, Hobbit, you fucking knobhead.
Well, that's like saying all car crashes are suspicious because cars are meant to stay on the road.
And when they don't, it's because something went terribly wrong. Duh. Pilot error and mechanical failure are by far the most common causes underlying any crash.
I don't like the tone of voice in these articles. I feel like I'm being talked down to.
The National Transportation Safety Board investigates every downed plane in the US, and though they might not always pin down the exact cause of a crash, they're generally pretty good about ruling the the language in it. It's not a fact-checking website, is it? They're generally pretty good. Is that what a fact-checking website should be saying, is it, Hobbit?
Well, I'll have you know, well, actually, they call themselves fact checkers, so who are you to disagree? You don't know much as fact checking as the man what hires a bunch of prostitutes to
anyway,
run his
Hobbit,
thing.
just for you doubting Thomas, you. Reiser, his son, and 3 others all died in a plane crash in Alaska on 30th of July 1992 during a fishing trip. The pilot and another passenger survived and were hospitalised with severe burns. While the body count list claims no cause determined, the NTSB reported otherwise. A pilot error in a small plane flying in mountainous terrain during low visibility conditions led to the crash. There you go, Hobbit, just trying to find suspicious stuff in everything.
Well, nothing to see here. Move along,
Nothing to see here. Pilot error. There we go. Another one.
Exactly.
Another one, Hobbit.
Well, that's this case wrapped up. So join us next week
for more shit that we make up that absolutely couldn't be it.
Which never happened.
Oh, fucking hell. Ian's managed to rework an old joke. Where did your wife die in a plane crash? Alaska.
That joke's not very good.
Yeah, plane crashes happen all the time. Don't you know that?
No, because I'm just a dribbling moron. I don't know nothing.
Right, so, Paul Tully. Have you done this one a bit?
Oh, shall I see if I got Paul Tully on my list?
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to try and find what the tab was I was on. I want to keep that one because that's going to come later. So what John Tully you're looking for?
Paul Tully.
Paul Tully. Right,
so
Paul...
DNC political director was found dead in a Little Rock hotel room. No cause was ever determined and no autopsy was allowed. Tully was a key member of the damage control squad and came up with some of the Clinton strategies. Did he come up with the Clinton strategy? The kill them till they're dead?
Or they can't pose embarrassing questions if they're not alive to pose the embarrassing questions.
Dead men tell no tales.
That's it.
Well, you see, Hobbit, there's no point you saying anything because Paul Tully died on the 24th of September 1992. Problem is, there wasn't anything the least bit unusual about his death, Hobbit. Anyway, you carry on.
Oh, well, no, I'm just agreeing with you because it's a very small entry on this list. It says what you did. No autopsy was ever allowed.
Oh, okay, then. And however, an autopsy was performed and Tully's cause of death was determined, a massive heart attack. Not a surprising demise, given that Tully was extremely overweight, a heavy drinker, and a chain smoker.
If you shoot somebody in the heart, or if they're on fire or something, you could rule that as a heart attack as well, because all injuries result in a heart failure. Your heart stops beating, that's why you're dead. Officially, you're registered as dead when there's no heartbeat.
Note again that the conspiracy buffs offer no putative reason for Tully's killing, and would have us believe that Clinton ordered his chief strategist rubbed out while the most important election of his career was little over a month away.
What does putative mean?
Oh, I don't know. I actually don't
know. Let me just have a look at
I've never used the word putative.
So putative Wikipedia does not have an article on it, but Merriam-Webster.com,
Yeah.
commonly accepted or supposed, assumed to exist or have existed.
Assumed.
So, like, why didn't they just use that instead of big people
Well, they
words? And
didn't.
then people understand.
No, offer no reason for Tully's killing. You didn't need to put putative in there.
So, wait, what was the use it in the sentence again? The putative.
Off conspiracy theory buffs. The conspiracy buffs offer no putative reason for Tully's killing. Killing.
So, putative.
No
Let's have a look.
logical reason for
So,
Tully's killing.
conspiracy theories offer no commonly accepted or supposed.
Yeah.
But by their very nature, the conspiracy theories aren't commonly accepted because, like, if they were, they'd no longer be called theories, would they? They'd just be like commonly accepted facts. So that's just superfluous to the discussion. I don't like this article.
What a supercilious person's writing this.
I don't like this article. It does a lot of like stuff which is unnecessary.
This is supposed to be just like, this is a load of bollocks. But like, why are they going into such like this is massive? I think they're going to go through every single one and how it's all a nothing burger.
I would go as far as to say this article is vitriolic. What you're reading, I don't think this is a fair, unbiased, dispassionate look into the situation, which is what we really need.
So so basically, we don't know what the motive was for him being. So we do know that people die in heart attacks.
We can't keep living with these suspicious murders.
So Ed Willie,
a trap. No way out.
Ed Willie Hobbit.
Bum.
Ed Willie Bum.
Oh, you're saying a name, right?
Yeah, Ed Willie. Clinton fundraiser found in the woods in Virginia with a gunshot wound to the head, ruled a suicide.
My bit is short. It says he died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound on November the 30th, 1993. His death came the same day his wife, Kathleen, was sexually assaulted in the White House by Bill Clinton. Is that his thing? Is he like is Bill Clinton like a real life
real human being?
I'm trying to think. Who's the name of that actor? What like bums boys and kills people and pretends he's Bill Clinton. Is Bill Clinton a real life Kevin Spacey?
Yeah.
Well, he'll do a rape allegedly, and then he'll go and murder someone allegedly, and then do a really weird video about it'd be a shame if somebody were to come and rape and then kill you and make it look like a suicide. Do you remember that when Kevin Spacey did that video, like doing death threats on somebody that annoyed him, and then they ended up dead from suicide, like a few days later?
Right. So this is all just complete like conspiracy theory now.
It's a lie. We made it up.
Yeah. Ed Willie's death was as clear-cut a suicide as anyone as you're ever going to find, I bet. He was a desperate, unstable man, citation needed, who, along with his wife, spent money lavishly, citation needed. Stole $275,000 of a client's money, citation needed.
And was I was going to say, is there citation?
There are no citations for any of this. So
I was going to do like an episode, spoilers, but we are going to talk about Antarctica, and I was thinking of making a custom thumbnail for it, where it's just the Giga Chad and Soyjack saying source, and then Giga Chad responding with "I made it all up." Yeah. Is this article you're reading now? Source, I made it all up.
Yeah, I think so. It's a bit weird, isn't it? I bet.
It's a bit shit, really.
So he stole.
I don't want to.
$275,000 of the client's money and was about $500,000 in debt to the IRS. Took his own life on 29th of November 1993, leaving behind a suicide note found by his wife reading, "Saying I'm sorry doesn't begin to explain. I hope one day you'll forgive me." But apparently they were both at it. So why would he be saying sorry when they're both equally liable for it?
Yeah. Bit inconsistent.
So did you know they murdered a holiday as well?
You
Yeah.
can murder holidays?
Yeah, they murdered Herschel Friday.
I
Isn't that
wasn't
a
aware of.
holiday or is it a person?
I was going to say I wasn't aware of the holiday of Herschel Friday. Is that when like it's 20% off the retail price?
Yeah, must be. I've never heard of Herschel Friday. Actually, it's like they're even like nitpicking the spellings of Herschel Friday. Herschel is spelt with one L, not two, by the way, Hobbit.
I stand corrected. I've been misspelling Herschel incorrectly all this time.
Herschel Friday, Clinton fundraiser, his plane exploded. Is
Yeah.
the lies?
The Iranians did it.
No,
Right?
it's actually pilot error.
Pirate errors.
Pirate
Yar!
error. Yar.
I'd be driving this
It,
into the bottom of the sea.
it was like the start of Batman.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the one with Jack Nicholson. There's no pilot error in that, is
The
there?
pilot error that occurred when 73-year-old Friday. Fridays are a bit older than 73 years old, aren't they, Hobbit? The plane's controls crashed it during an attempted landing on a poorly lighted private airfield at dusk on a dark and drizzly day. So there you go, Hobbit. Another nothing burger. Nothing to see here. Move along.
Would another way of saying poorly lighted be poorly lit? Is that commonly accepted?
this is Snopes, so it's absolute fact that poorly lighted is how you do it.
Yeah. Wow.
Do you like the way he pulls up the guy for spelling Herschel with two L's and then puts poorly lighted private airfield?
Is this like some sort of shit test where they're just going to be like, well, actually, we're smarter than you? It's someone like saying, I'm smarter than you, yeah, but you're smearing yourself in shit, and like, you're hitting, you're drinking leaded petrol, you're smearing yourself in shit, and you're hitting yourself with a hammer. Yeah, because I'm smarter than you.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Okay.
Right. So Jerry Parks, this is a juicy one. Former security team member for Governor Clinton. Prior to his death, he had compiled an extensive file on Clinton's activities. His family had reported being followed and his home broken into just before being gunned down at a deserted intersection. Obviously, we know what this is.
That?
It's nothing. It's just, just happens, doesn't it?
It's just a coincidence.
So on the 26th of September 1993, Luther Jerry Parks was hit with 10 bullets from a 9mm semi-automatic. Semi-automatic, not even hyphenated.
Fully semi-automatic.
All one. It must be fully semi-automatic because it's all one word. As he left
the cop killer bullets.
Yeah, and a big clip.
That's very important. Yeah, it's very important that
it was shot with a 9mm AR-47. As he left a Mexican restaurant at the edge of Little Rock, his murder remains unsolved.
The AR stands for Adolf Hitler, right?
Yeah. Park security. Go on then.
Not many people know that. That's the gun stands for Adolf Hitler and 47 because that's the famous like neo-Nazi symbol. Like when they say AR-47, they're saying Heil Hitler.
So Park Security Company guarded Clinton's campaign headquarters in 1992. Park's son Gary asserted in Circle of Power and the Clinton Chronicles, both video products of Linda Thompson's American Justice Federation, obviously see above for the slander there on Linda Thompson, that his father collected a secret file of Clinton's indiscretions and that his father was using the file to try and blackmail the Clinton campaign. He also claimed that Vince Foster knew of the file's existence. But Vince Foster just killed himself for no reason whatsoever. Despite these allegations, the younger Parks never produced the mysterious file, and Clyde Steelman, a homicide sergeant with the Little Rock Police Force, dismissed Gary Parks' theories of his father's death as unsubstantiated, nothing to grasp.
Nothing to see here. Move along, please.
But Snopes, the home of facts, says a far more likely suspect in the murder was Jerry Parks' former partner with whom Parks had quarrelled bitterly. Yeah, so basically, the home of facts and not slander is just fucking slandering Jerry Parks' missus.
Why would they do this?
I have no idea. Do you want to do some of this, Hobbit? John Wilson, number 8.
I
don't think we're going to do this in one episode, are we?
There's 109 of these bodies.
Yeah.
It's 109 suicides, but it's not me.
Yeah.
What done it?
Oh,
So, my favorite thing is, wasn't there something like saying that Hunter Biden is a child predator allegedly, and his laptop's got child porn allegedly, and Snopes says false, but then goes on to say, whilst child
oh,
porn was found.
Apparently,
Oh,
Snopes didn't include Seth Rich. Do you remember Seth Rich?
no, who's he then?
Do you remember Seth Rich?
Oh, John Wilson, number 8.
John Wilson or Jockey Wilson?
I don't know, but I'm looking at John Wilson, former Washington DC council member, had ties to Whitewater. That's the Whitewater scandal.
Yeah.
Died of a very suspicious hanging suicide. And then Snopes says, John Wilson was the chairman of District Columbia Council, and his suicide was far from very suspicious. Well, it's completely ordinary. Oh, just a normal suicide. Nothing to see here.
Yeah.
He had a long history of depression, was wrestling with marital
why are you so
problems.
suspicious of everything, Hobbit?
I don't know. It's something about this show. It just gets my spidey senses tingling. And so he had tried to kill himself on at least 4 other occasions, or tried to be assassinated at least 4 times. He finally succeeded on the 19th of May, 1993. Upon his death, Wilson's wife said his depression was an inherited problem, that he was able to contribute so much over the years in the face of his disability was a miracle. Police
His
said
disability? What's his disability?
he's depressed.
That's not
Police
disability.
said, yes. Well, according to the witness statement, police said that he did not leave a note and there was no signs of foul play. Wilson had absolutely nothing in common with Clinton other than that they worked in the same city.
Oh,
They claim that Wilson...
Just someone grasping at straws again, Hobbit.
They claim that Wilson had anything... Oh, they underlined anything. I thought that was a hyperlink. It's not. The Wilson had anything to do with the Whitewater real estate controversy is laughable.
Poppycock.
Ha, 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 ha.
So
Why does this... This is not... This is not a very... I know I said it before, but this is not a very good article. I mean... But unfortunately, when we're trying to read this, it's really quite hard to find like something which is not just complete and utter dog shit. Like, so much is saying, well, actually, there's no such thing as a Clinton body list because they are beyond reproach.
Yeah.
So,
Hillary Clinton's a lovely lady, and all of this is just slander.
Yeah, and Bill Clinton would never do no wrong. He was the cool president. He played saxophone, don't you remember?
Yeah, he played saxophone. Well, why would a man who played saxophone be raping bitches?
Yeah, he wasn't, he just wanted to blow off a bit of steam after, like, killing all those Serbian children.
Yeah.
And the Bosnians. But more of that comes later.
Yeah.
As you shall find out.
If we survive tomorrow, that is, Hobbit.
Well, neither of us are suicidal, and I'm saying there's no such thing as the Clinton body count. It's just slander and lies, and it's, it's not real. It's just one of those crazy conspiracy theories.
It's just slandering the good name of Hillary Clinton.
Who never did no wrong.
She never did nothing wrong.
Although it was a bit weird what she said in the Libyan war. So, but, that's fine. Just because she's got a bit of bloodlust and really enjoyed like seeing Muammar Gaddafi die, well, that's fine because Muammar Gaddafi wasn't a very nice man anyway.
Oh, this is a good one. The next one coming up.
So the next one that is coming up is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next two are a pair. Like,
cool.
Suicide's that common, it comes along in pairs. Did you know this, Hobbit?
Suicide comes along in pairs because that's what happens.
Because that's just the way suicide is.
And I'll just say for the record as well, South Park was better when Isaac Hayes was on it, and I don't like South Park anymore that he's not on it anymore.
Why?
Because it's not as good now. It was really funny, and the characters would say things which I would like.
You
say.
And me, simultaneous love, and baby, you and me, And Winona Ryder.
Ryder. Yeah, exactly. So, it's and it's a shame we won't get that anymore. Just like it's a shame we'll never really get to the truth of this thing, because like what's going on, we don't know. I'd like to say I do know, but unfortunately I can't say I know. So none of us can really say what we know.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like, actually, Hobbit, have you even got the autopsy report?
No.
How can you actually, Hobbit, if you haven't even got the autopsy report? How can you even say these people have committed suicide?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I thought this was going to be like a good episode, and we'd be able to get over it very quickly and just say, it didn't happen. We made it all up. It's
Yeah.
not real, and then we could just move on and talk about how great like the Clintons are and how much they've done for democracy and peace and all
Fucking
that stuff.
hell. And this is going into some seriously dark slander. So right, Kathy Ferguson, former wife of Arkansas State Trooper Danny Ferguson,
Also known as Arkansas.
the co-defendant with Bill Clinton in the Paula Jones lawsuit, found dead in her living room with a gunshot wound to the head, ruled a suicide. Interestingly, her packed suicide cases, her packed suitcases seem to indicate she was about to go somewhere. That's what you do, don't you? You pack your things up and then kill yourself, don't you? I bet.
Well, she's clearly preparing for a long trip to the River Styx.
Yeah.
So yeah, what's the problem? You sound like you're being incredulous. You telling me you don't believe that this isn't suspicious or something? What are you, some sort of conspiracy theorist?
Former what? What? Former wife of Arkansas State Trooper Danny Ferguson. So Danny Ferguson was her boyfriend, but her and her husband. Was her husband, but her and her boyfriend killed themselves. So Kathy Ferguson killed herself with a gunshot to the right temple at the home of her boyfriend Bill Shelton. Their relationship had fallen on hard times, with each accusing the other of having been unfaithful. Citation needed. So we need to know, on whose say-so is it that were they doing this? Ferguson left behind a suicide note that read, "Can't stay in here any longer. Things will never be the same for us. I can't take that." Close by was another note from Shelton questioning her relationship with another man, which Ferguson's daughter said her mother had been upset over. We found no mention of packed suitcases in any of the reports about Ferguson's death. But even if there were, it wouldn't be the least bit surprising. It's so unusual that a woman might be thinking of moving out of the house of a boyfriend who had quarrelled with her and challenged her fidelity.
Like, I don't even understand what you're saying anymore.
Snopes just forgot the part about her blowing her brains out. Like, you either pack your bags or blow your brains out. You don't do fucking both, do you?
Well, that's why I'm finding it hard to follow along with what you're saying, because it's not logical. It doesn't make any sense, and the story's inconsistent, and also the other bit as well, which makes me turn off of these stories. So I can't imagine what it's like with the audience here, but when someone is talking to me like I'm a fucking idiot and I'm a dribbling moron,
yeah,
I feel insulted. I mean, yeah, I might be special needs, but when someone's treating me like a dribbling spacker, I don't think I should pay much attention to what they're saying. I don't respect them much at all. So,
it's just like Bill Shelton, Arkansas State Trooper and fiance of Kathy Ferguson, allegedly committed suicide by shooting himself at her grave. Shelton killed himself over Kathy Ferguson's grave on 12th of June 1994, leaving a suicide note.
Why are you saying allegedly? I mean, clearly it's there's no
the allegedly part is what the conspiracy theory website said. So in yellow, you've got the bit the conspiracy theory website, and then you've got the reasonable explanation for it.
Because they're definitely suicides. There's no alleged about it. I mean, there's no debate, no contest. Also, the Norse Heathen says that Hemi's on the spectrum.
Yeah, we're all on the spectrum.
It was better when Man Bear Pig was on it.
I preferred the Commodore 64, to be honest.
Hobbit's mic occasionally glitches. I do like to fiddle with the arm, so
Yeah.
They don't include Seth Rich, yeah. Alleged leaker of the DNC emails. There was also someone known as the Washington Madam. She was like what's the madam? You know, the one that organises prostitutes. Sex workers, as we're supposed to call it now.
Yeah. Sex work is real work, I bet.
Well, in that case, the IRS would like to invoice you for your real work.
To be fair, wanking off some of these MPs, like that is real work, mate. That ain't easy. You're not doing that because you're enjoying it, are you?
Yeah, but at the same time, you don't want to have to
Is
pay
he talking about?
taxes on
Are you talking about Deborah Jean Palfrey?
Deborah Jean. I don't know what these names
Norse
are.
Heathen. Me and Hobbit have information that will lead to the arrest and imprisonment of Hillary Clinton, and we're not suicidal.
No, that's a lie. I don't. I think she's a great woman, brilliant philanthropist, and Bill Clinton was my favourite U.S. president of all time. And I think it's just heinous that these people would do all these allegations. It's just unfortunate that 109 people have committed suicide, what were tangentially related to the Clintons.
Hobbit. So anyway,
Yeah.
so Bill. So like you've got Kathy Ferguson. I haven't found her. I don't remember reading about her husband. So her husband's not about. Kathy commits suicide, and so does her boyfriend Bill Shelton. But there's nothing to see here.
Yeah. Well, what's suspicious about that?
So that's possibly 3 people dead.
Yeah, and
exactly.
You're not. Hey, doubt leads to heresy.
Yeah.
That's what 40k told me. Blessed is the mind too small for doubt.
Next we have Gandhi Bohr. So that's GNDYBAUGH. So he's
Wait, did Mahatma Gandhi get killed by
yeah, fucking Gandhi and all. Jesus.
Why did they kill Gandhi?
So Gandhi is attorney for Dan Lasseter in a financial misconduct case, supposedly jumped out the window of a tall building to commit suicide. Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Here's the reasonable explanation. News accounts stated that Gandhi died at home on 8th of January 94 without specifying the causes. Died at home is a euphemism often employed in news articles and obituaries to avoid direct mention of suicide, but we haven't found any definitive information about how Bohr died. So you can't. So Snopes are trying to shit on this one, and they can't.
Yeah, it's a bit. I'm sorry. I'm just finding it hard to deal with Snopes at the moment. I am.
But we have to we have to because they are the enemy. I bet.
Yeah, yeah, I know. It's like. I'm glad you're there to pick up the slack. Put it that way.
So next we have Dr. Donald Rogers as a dentist, killed in suspicious plane crash on his way to an interview with reporter Ambrose Evans Pritchard to reveal information about Clinton. Okay, this one does sound a little melodramatic, don't it?
Speaking of suspicious plane crashes, do you remember that time when Nigel Farage was in a suspicious plane crash and he's not doing all the stuff which before he used to do?
Yeah. Now he's taking money off of Sojo to banter Mark Collett, isn't he?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and do his like lackluster milquetoast talking points.
Yeah.
And saying that he wants the polls out but the Packy's in, which I thought was a bit rude of him because Packy is accepted now as a racial slur against rape monkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah. We love our rape monkeys, don't we?
What makes me laugh about Snopes is like nothing's dinging in their mind, is it? There's no point at which they're going to go, you know what? There's an awful lot of suicides and plane crashes around the Clintons. There's no point at which they're going to go like some of this, maybe some of this could be a bit suspicious.
109 suicides, but everyone else is the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'd have more respect for Snopes if they said like There's a lot of stuff here, and I can see why people see there's a bit of a problem. Like, I'd have more respect for them if they said that. But instead,
No,
they're just going, this is all absolute rubbish, and you're making it all up.
well, Snopes is the definitive arbiter of truth, and that's why they
Yeah,
got to say, look, you're dribbling morons, and
yeah.
that's why you need to know just how like stupid you all are.
Actually, can you see if you can find something about Donald Rogers? Because Snopes is saying no amount of digging has disclosed why a dentist would have such revelatory information about the President of the United States that a plane crash had to be arranged to bump him off.
On a plane crash, let's see if I could do that. Oh, it keeps coming up with Russian auto suggest because I'm using the evil Yandex search engine.
Oh, dear.
Ah, Qatar, California, Boeing 737, I
No, it's
can't
a
read
Cessna.
Cyrillic.
It's a Cessna you need of it.
Olympic snowboarder turned YouTuber. 20 years later, plane crash at JFK. Boeing plane. No, Donald
Oh,
Rogers plane crash.
Hillary will be on with AA to give her side. Norse, have you seen his meltdown when he spoke to that Jewish guy? It's fucking hilarious. You know,
Oh, here we
academic
go.
agent Hobbit.
Whenever someone says AI, I automatically assume they mean Andrew Anglin.
I thought you meant the Automobile Association.
Here we go. Here's a list. A list of suspicious deaths, and this was posted in 2017.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of names, and then suicides, homicides, Dixie Mafia related. That might be worth looking into. Natural causes.
Well, I do want to do
Unknown.
because the BBC is pretty much the same as the Clinton body count. Like BBC has a body count. An awful lot of people at the BBC commit suicide.
What the ones that knew Jim Savile and were not like on board with his kid fucking stuff.
Like what's his name? Mark Spate. Apparently his death is really weird, isn't it?
Oh, we covered Mark Spate in an earlier episode of 14
Did we actually?
Words.
I thought we talked about talking about him.
No, I'm pretty sure we actually did an episode about Mark.
Because Zero
Spate's
says
death.
about where he was found hanging, doesn't he?
Yeah, it was a weird building and stuff as well.
Yeah.
So hopefully somebody in the audience can say, yes, it was 14 episodes, Mark Spate, and it's number whatever it was. And you won't find it on YouTube possibly because some of the episodes you deleted, but you will find it on Anchor FM.
Stanley. So our next one's Stanley Huggins. Do you want me to blast through these?
Stanley Hug and Kiss.
Amanda Hug and Kiss. Lawyer investigating Madison Guranti. No idea. Suicide. His extensive report has never been released. So apparently, actually died of pneumonia. Huggins died bronchial pneumonia. Police said his exhaustive investigation of Huggins' death turned up no sign at all of foul play. But again, Snopes by omission has not mentioned the report reference, which is a bit weird, isn't it? Because they already said that you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't just ignore the stuff that doesn't count.
Yeah, I don't know who to believe now. I'm finding it.
Florence Martin, accountant for the CIA, and had information on the Barry Seal case. 3 gunshot wounds.
Hello, I'm Barry Seal.
Hi,
bang, bang, bang.
I'm Tim Bang, bang, and the pesky witnesses are gone. The pesky witnesses are gone. So, murdered in her home, 3 gunshots to the head through a pillow. She wasn't an accountant for the CIA. She worked in the graveyard shift at a convenience store. That's weird, isn't it? That you'd get the two things mixed up, isn't it?
Oh, works in co-op, works in the government.
It's easy. Like, you've never seen that guy down the co-op and think, he might work for the CIA.
You're thinking like Bill was going in for a packet of fags. And then the guy said, "No, that's actually $7.50. You've given me $6." It's like, "No, I haven't."
Yeah,
you have.
Yeah.
Have you got like a credit card or something? It's like, and then Bill Clinton's grandma was like, "I'm going to see you dead before the night's over."
Suzanne Coleman reportedly had an affair with Clinton. Was 7 months pregnant at the time she was found dead of a gunshot wound to the back of the head. Ruled suicide.
Not suspicious.
So all Snopes want to tell you is that they found no evidence he'd had an affair. So they're not going to address gunshot wound. They're not going to.
Do you want to address any of that?
All Snopes want to address is that she didn't have an affair, and her name's Susan with an S, not Suzanne with a Z.
Yeah, back of the head suicide north. It's a very common modus operandi. I think what they're doing, right? I'm going to go and speculate here now. What's happening is all these people which want to embarrass the Clintons. They've all decided together. It's a conspiracy, you see. They've decided.
Why haven't they killed Biden? Because he's embarrassing the Clintons, isn't he?
What they've decided to do is they've. I can neither confirm nor deny that's happening. Is they've all decided to commit suicide in a similar fashion with shots to the back of the head, so that people would get suspicious and go, "Hang on, was this really suicide?" And the thing is, it's just like Kurt Cobain, right? He wanted to make people suspect Courtney Love, and that's why he committed suicide with a shotgun. He fired the trigger with his pinky toe. So you can do that with shotguns.
Yeah.
You're very easy to operate with your feet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like that's why they say the shotgun's an ideal self-defense weapon if you haven't got use of your arms, because you can just hold it with your feet and operate the controls with your toes.
Paula Grober, Clinton's interpreter for the death, travelled with Clinton from 1978 until her death in 1992 in a one-car accident. There were no witnesses.
In a one-car open sleigh.
A car overturned at a curve in the highway, throwing her 33 feet from the vehicle.
In a one-car open sleigh.
Yeah, literally. So she flew 33 feet away from her car during this accident.
Flying in the air. I'm flying in the air after accusing Bill Clinton of doing something. It wasn't his fault anyway.
We are doing a part 2 on this. We haven't even got to 20 of it. Paul Wiltshire, attorney. Should I get to 20? I'll see how we get on anyway.
I'm surprised we only got half an hour left. I want some unexplained mysteries.
Do you?
Yeah. Kurt Cobain was off his head.
I'll get to 20 and then we'll do some unexplained mysteries.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to do another one next week. Paul Wiltshire, attorney investigate. If we don't get it done this week, you're gonna have to do homework of it. Paul Wiltshire.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
Paul Wiltshire, attorney investigating corruption. He had investigated federal elections, drug and gun smuggling through MENA and the Waco incident, and had just delivered a lengthy report to Janet Reno. He died in his home of unknown causes.
What's a MENA?
Through MENA, MENA.
Through MENA, I want to see her. Do.
I thought you were going to do.
MENA is.
I just met a girl named Mina. You know, Maria.
Oh, no. Oh, right, yeah. Maria.
You're an hour and a half late, Chippy Tits Clips.
I don't even know what we're doing anymore.
You just like Snopes ruined your appetite for this case.
All I know is that the Clintons are.
Well, I'll put it this way: we've got to 17, and there are an awful lot of the same types of death. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I need to say.
Success.
Well, they did a couple, didn't they? So anyway, Paul Wiltshire, so he was investigating all this stuff. Died his home at unknown causes.
Lizard knows what MENA is. It means the shithole countries.
Okay.
Also knows the Middle East and Africa. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Wiltshire's partially decomposed body was found seated on the toilet at his Washington, D.C. home. His death was attributed to natural cause. I have known.
He did
one of my ex-girlfriends. Granddad died on the pot.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Some people do that, don't they? They do a poo and it just you die.
Also, I know someone who had a heart attack recently, and when you've had a heart attack, you're not allowed to push when you go to the toilet.
But what do you do if you're constipated?
Just literally have to sit there and wait.
But but whenever I'm on the loo, like it's automatic. It just pushes automatically. How
Yeah.
how do you
Well, you're
like
not allowed to.
stop?
You're not allowed to give it some welly, Hobbit. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
Yeah, you know what I mean.
if you strain too hard, your heart will give out.
Yeah, that's like when you've just had like you for a certain period after you've
Weetabix.
had your for a certain period after you've had your heart up. So uh, so he was investigating the theory of October surprise conspiracy during the 1980 federal election campaign. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, no, these are like specific to
Yeah, you got to know a lot
the
of other stuff, haven't you? October surprise sounds like surprise sex that someone else was talking about.
all I'll say is the American theatre of politics is more interesting than the English theatre of politics. We got
Yeah,
Jacob Rees-Mogg
yeah.
what's his name, the buffoon. That's
John.
our
Next
politics.
one we got is John Parnell Walker. Parnell, god damn it! RTC investigator who mysteriously fell to his death from an apartment balcony. We've turned up no information about this man, not a report of his death, nor his being a Resolution Trust Corporation investigator. Various versions of the list state these deaths took place on the 15th of August 1993 at the Lincoln Towers in Arlington, Virginia, but we found no documentation of it.
Yay! Unexplained mysteries time.
Oh, well, that's 18, Hobbit. I've still got 2 more.
18. Shit. Sorry, I'm jumping the gun.
19, Ron Brown. Do you want to do one of these?
Oh yeah, I have to be on Snopes, Clinton body bags. That's not the one, Ron. So let's go on to 19 because 16. No, Ron Brown, former DNS chairman, Commerce Secretary, reported to have died in a plane crash, but new evidence revealed actually he may have been shot in the head. He was being investigated by a special investigator, and was made to be indicted with 54 others. He spoke publicly of his willingness to make a deal with the prosecutors to save himself a few days before the fatal trip. He was not supposed to be on the flight, but was asked to go at the last minute. This count does not include the other business leaders and other passengers who died on this government-sponsored trade mission. What new evidence? Ron Brown and 34 others were killed in a plane crash in Croatia on the 3rd of April 1996. The plane slammed into a mountain while landing approach. Oh yeah, that's, happens all the time. There were no survivors. Much has been made of an X-ray of Brown's skull showing what supposedly looks like a round entry wound. Closer examination, actually, of Brown's skull by military officials revealed no bullet, no bone fragments, no metal fragments, and even more telling, no exit wound. So it's a laser. Simply imagining a scenario under which Ron Brown could have been shot takes one into the realm of the absurd. Was he shot in the head during the flight and fueled with faith for other witnesses? If so, how did the shooters get off the plane?
Why are there so many clumsy pilots? How can you have like so many like another pilot error? Like how can there be this many clumsy pilots surrounding one person?
Croatia is like, the mountains in Croatia are shifting all the time. I can't believe that you would, you question this, Hemi. Like, what's wrong with you? Why are you questioning it? Don't question it. If you do want to question it, just don't. But hashtag believe all Clintons. Then, so if the killer shot him before the flight, then bundle the body into a seat, just like Weekend at Bernie's. No, it's the other film. What's it called?
Commando.
No, not Commando. What's
that's Commando where he kills the bloke, breaks his neck.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That's the one.
Yeah.
And nobody noticed the gaping hole in his head, or did Croatian commandos fortuitously appear on the scene?
You know, Weekend at Bernie's is the one about the dead person that they're carrying around, don't you?
I thought that's why it was Ferris Bueller's Day Off, because he's like having a day off because he's dead.
No, Weekend at Bernie's where they're taking their boss around because he's dead. And
I
they
need
got
to
make
watch
him
both
look like
these.
he's still alive.
Let me
There's
just
also
check if
Weekend
I've got...
at Bernie's too.
Let me see. But what, the decomposing, or is it like he comes back as a zombie?
No, they do that in 2. They take him to a voodoo priestess, and he starts walking. He starts walking around. It's quite funny.
I don't have Weekend at Bernie's in my list. Maybe I'll go and watch it. I did like Ferris Bueller's Day Off though. Was he shot? Blah blah blah. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, the Commandos. Did Croatian commandos fortuitously appear on the scene to scale a mountain and pump a bullet into the head of an already dead plane crash victim?
Like this, have you noticed it gets more and more like shilly as it goes along? Like you imagine it's like that by now, don't you?
Yeah, it really is. Whoever wrote this article was very angry. An exhaustive Air Force investigation of the crash found the pilot error was to blame. The air crew made errors while planning and executing the mishap flight, which, when combined, was the cause of the mishap. During mission planning, the crew's review of the Dubrovnik approach failed to determine that it required 2 automatic direction finders, or ADFs, and it could not be flown with a single ADF on board their aircraft. Additionally, the crew improperly flight planned their route, which added 15 minutes to their flight time. The pilot rushed to their approach and did not properly configure the aircraft for landing prior to commencing the final segment of the approach. They crossed the final approach at fixed flying at 80 knots.
So he wants us to believe that they had an entire flight crew that didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
So, in other words, that all the flight crew, including the stewards, had my intelligence. Let me just have a look at Dubrovnik on Croatia map. Dubrovnik, that Dubrovnik airport in Silipi, Croatia. Yeah. So it's right on the coast, and the mountains are there. So yeah, what the problem is? You just approach from the Ionian Sea. It's fine.
Yeah, but not if you're 9 degrees off. You fuck then. The pilots flew a course 9 degrees left of the correct course. They also failed to identify the missed approach point and to execute a timely missed approach.
So if they're going left, and they're coming from the north, that means they're heading towards Montenegro, which means Nigger Mountain. That's facts, by the way. That's not just me being a racist.
It actually means Black Mountain Hobbit, doesn't
it? Yeah, Nigger Mountain.
You very naughty boy.
It's Montenegro. It's the word for it. It's like that's the Negra.
No,
it
doesn't. You're being naughty. No, stop it, Hobbit. Stop being naughty.
They were trying to lynch black people in Montenegro.
They weren't, because they didn't have any there.
How do you know? Has anybody ever been to Montenegro? Is it a real country?
Yeah, more than you could ever know.
With Albanians.
It's filled with Albanians. Have they nicked all the... you know what? This is far more interesting than the Clinton body list, which clearly is false, and it's not. Yeah. None of it's true whatsoever.
I'll bet there's one more, and then you can talk about other things.
Oh, okay, yeah. God, I got so many of these things open. I still haven't talked about the DynCorp thing, which that probably have to be in another another thing. Oh, that's it. So, as the result of the rushed approach, the late conviction, and the radio call from pilot on the ground, the crew was distracted from adequately monitoring the final approach. Pilots flew a course 9 degrees left of the correct course. They also failed to identify the missed approach point and to execute a timely missed approach. A lot of missed approach things. So, anyway, 20. Barbara Wise. Yeah. She was a Commerce Department secretary, worked with Ron Brown and John Huang, and had extensive knowledge of their activities. Found dead in a locked office the day after Thanksgiving. It was ruled as suicide. Interestingly, she was found partially closed, bruised, and in a pool of blood. There was no pool of blood, and Barbara Wise's death was never ruled as suicide by anyone. She was discovered in a Commerce Department office on the 29th November 1996, after last being seen alive on the 27th of November 1996, the day before Thanksgiving. A thorough investigation uncovered no evidence of foul play or suicide. Wise had a history of frequent severe health problems, including liver ailments, and her death was attributed to natural causes. So there. It's all a lie. It's all
Yeah.
made up, and
Yeah.
none of it's true. And I feel really sorry for the Clinton family to endure all these
Yeah.
egregious
Slander. Just vicious.
yeah.
Just vicious
I
slander.
I refute all these calumnies. They are not true in any way, shape, or form, and my heart goes out to they're just good people that are trying to do good things. Although I didn't think much of Hillary Clinton's dance video with Madonna. I thought that was a bit embarrassing.
Hillary Clinton danced with Madonna's just embarrassing in her own right, though, isn't she?
There's a animated video of Hillary Clinton and Madonna doing a dance and saying, with this dance, we're going to win the election.
Well, actually, there's
and then,
one more article in the list that I want to read. Hold on a sec.
But why?
No, this one's quite good. It's not Snopes. Where is it?
You. That's relief.
Yeah, this one from the Retriever. So, it's quite
Golden.
funny. So, when sitting United States President George H.W. Bush was recorded vomiting on the Prime Minister of Japan, then fainting during a 1992 state visit, the media had a field day. There were late-night skits, uncensored footage aired on ABC, references on The Simpsons and Family Guy to topple that Robin Williams impersonated the incident while accepting a Golden Globe. Do you remember George Bush puking on himself?
I remember there was this thing about it saying he choked on the pretzel, but then others
No.
that he was
This is George
incredibly
Bush
drunk.
Senior. He was visiting Japan and he spewed on himself.
Oh, right. No, I did.
It was 1992. I think you were little then, weren't you?
Yeah, 1992. I was interested in Commander Keen and how to load games from DOS.
Yeah. But despite the media storm that the incident was able to conjure, Bush's ability to continue to serve as president of the United States was never called into question. So when Hillary Clinton stumbled and had to be helped getting into a van leaving a 9/11 memorial event in New York, the general reaction can be seen as curious. It's like, what the fuck? She literally looked like she was dead, didn't she?
I remember that. It struck me as a person that was like, a bit like Angela Merkel.
It's not someone who rolled their ankle, is it? She literally fucking passed the fuck out, didn't she?
And that's why she was being. They weekend at Bernie'd her when they were carrying her up and saying, "Oh no, she's just a little fall. She's unconscious." Yeah,
hello.
She's just a little fall.
And they literally got a jaw and went, "Hello, I'm Hillary Clinton. I'm fine," didn't they?
Yeah, that's it. What the problem is.
Yeah. Not only is that incident definitely not the most exciting thing to talk about in regards to Clinton, but she did in fact emerge from her daughter's apartment only hours after resting, smiling, and seeming to be in perfect health. Which is fine for someone who's pretty much in a coma 2 seconds ago.
It's Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah. However, the media
rated PG-13.
What do you think to Hillary? Do you believe these stories that she's cloned? There's a impersonator. She's got like doubles. What do you think of it?
One thing they said is, she had those mirrored sunglasses.
Yeah.
Someone's saying, "Oh, I recognise those mirrored sunglasses. They're what epileptics use, so they don't have a fit in public."
Oh, really?
Or as the Americans would call them, a seizure.
A seizure.
A grand mal seizure. Yeah, apparently those mirrored sunglasses help. They don't completely eliminate, but they reduce the chances of a seizure.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, the rest of this is like very pro Clinton, but like I thought it was good to mention it. Her weird campaign. It was just a fucking weird campaign, weren't it?
Well, I saw he died.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Muammar Gaddafi thing.
No, I'm talking about Hillary Clinton's weird campaign for election against Trump.
Do you remember that weird thing where, like, they said SEAL Team 6 were doing a killing of some Arab, and they were all standing there in the office looking at the screen, but they wouldn't show what was on the screen. And that was it. They said SEAL Team 6 were killing Osama bin Laden, but you're not allowed to see it. You can just see a video of them looking at a monitor or looking concerned. And Obama and Clinton were there, and then he said, in accordance with Muslim tradition, we're going to just like dump the body at sea. You don't need to see it.
That's the Muslim tradition, in it, Hobbit. You have to dump it at sea.
Yeah, because people in the middle of the desert, when one of their departed died, they don't just like put the body on a tower so that the birds can pick it clean and then take the skeleton afterwards. No, they travel hundreds of miles to the sea to dump the body.
Yeah.
Just like they do with car batteries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Because that's what they would have wanted.
So, right then, Hobbit, you want to do some unexplained mysteries then?
Oh boy, do I ever.
Is there something here that you want to do then, is there?
Not particularly. Just, I'm glad that we don't have to talk about this all the time.
Are we done with Hillary Clinton now then?
Well, there will be a part 2, because I have to do the thing about DynCorp and stuff like that.
Fucking Ian's not talking about it. I liked it when she was addressing a black women's group and she started talking like a yardie. That weren't her. That's the other one, isn't it? Kamala Harris. You know, the other woman, the woman they try and.
She was doing it because she.
Oh, did she?
Like hot sauce, and then she always carries hot sauce in her purse like a black person.
Yeah,
it's the cringiest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, shit. I'm black. I carry hot sauce.
I'm black, motherfucker.
But I do.
The mildest hot sauce. What was that?
Oh, my favorite mildest hot sauce is the Mexican one, the chula. You can just like you know that bit in Red Dwarf where he's just like drinking Tabasco. I can do that with chula. It's I've had ketchup that is spicier than that hot sauce. It's good stuff. If you like a very mild sauce. Oh, but 2 children survive a month alone in the Amazon rainforest?
I can do that one.
Yeah. So 2 young brothers recently went missing in the dense rainforest and were miraculously found alive 27 days later. Well, it wasn't a month then, was it? Fucking lies. According to reports, glaucoma, which is short for glaucoma, and Gleason Vieira, ages 6 and 8, went into the rainforest near their family home in Brazil's Amazonas state on the February the 18th to catch birds and did not return.
Well, they did.
They disappeared. Oh yeah. So again, the 2 lies, and we're not even like half the way down. Their disappearance sparked a frantic and extensive search involving 260 volunteers, including experienced search and rescue workers who spent days attempting to locate them. With poor weather hampering efforts, the search was called off after a week. However, a significant number of people continued to go out in the rainforest anyway, in the hope of finding the boys. Incredibly, 27 days later, a man had been cutting wood near the Palmeira, reported hearing a child crying in the forest. Nearby, 22 miles from where Glauco and Gleason had disappeared. When he went to investigate, he discovered 2 boys who were both very much alive. Although they were badly malnourished, dehydrated, and covered in bites and sores, they were remarkably good health and made quite a speedy recovery after being taken to hospital. That's another thing. Hospital is nearly the same in every single language, except German, where it's Krankenhaus. Every other language, it's hospital, hospital.
Is that where you go for the clag be gone at the Klagenhaus?
That's it.
Krankenhaus.
Do you remember the clag be gone from Viz?
Yeah, I do. It's the alternative to bog paper. They are undernourished and have some skin, ear, and back infections, said pediatrician Eugenio Tavares.
So what is paranormal or even interesting about this story?
Believing frequency is normal, they don't have coughs. It is believed the 2 boys survived by drinking rain, river water, and by eating wild fruit. Ooh, the fact that they lasted so long without outside help is nothing short of remarkable. I mean, you don't have to say that if you're doing a news article about it, because the news article is the remark.
Yeah.
Oh, what about this? How will we know for sure that we have found alien life? Or would we
Well,
just
there'll
too
be aliens.
Yeah. All
That
right, well
that
that's
time we
it.
used the whole bog roll week.
Yeah. There we go. So no need to read that article. It's just
They're gonna look alien, won't they?
how will we know when aliens come? Well,
Because they won't
because
look
they're
like
aliens.
us.
Yeah, that's it. A 325-year-old million, 325 million year old octopus has been named after Joe Biden.
What?
Oh, that's nice.
Where have you gone with that one?
Paleontology.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. A carboniferous cephalopods has
Oh,
once
you've
roamed
seen the
Bristol.
expedition findings shed new light on the Dyatlov Pass. We need to do Dyatlov Pass.
Oh, what, Russia's Stonehenge?
No, Dyatlov Pass, where the campers died.
Yeah. I thought that was Russian
What
Stonehenge.
the fuck? No, it's a bit different to that. Several decades later, however, a new study published in the Journal of Communications, Earth and Environment put forward the theory the hikers had died from an unusual form of small-scale delayed avalanche. So that's why they had no clothes, they were running out, they were found up trees and all sorts because of an avalanche.
That incredulity is why you're going to be found committed suicide with 2 shots to the back of the head.
Yeah. Or
With
I'll
your
be in a
long
mysterious plane accident. Pilot error.
Yeah. To Croatia.
Yeah. Who owns
Yeah.
Shackleton's ship and what will happen to it? Do you know they found Shackleton? You know Ernest Shackleton, Hobbit?
Oh, yeah.
Tonight's federal budget will include more than... Doing that again. Hold on a sec. Tonight's federal budget will include more than $800. What's $8? Is that Australian dollars? Why don't they just say it instead of trying to fucking slow it down?
Yeah, your guess is as good as mine.
I think it's 800 million Australian dollars over 10 years to provide a clear marker of Australia's scientific leadership in Antarctica. The funds will go towards drones and helicopters amid mounting, although somewhat exaggerated, concerns over Chinese activity in the region. But political assets in the polar region include more than expensive state-of-the-art toys. Earlier this month, one of the most famous shipwrecks in history, Sir Ernest Shackleton's Endurance, was discovered in the Weddell Sea, part of Antarctica claimed by multiple nations. There is enormous excitement around the discovery of the Endurance. The wreck provides physical connection to the great tale of human survival, as it was the vessel used during the British explorers' 1914-1916 Imperial Transarctic Expedition, and it became stuck in the ice and eventually sunk. Remarkably, none of the men died during the ordeal, despite having to camp on the ice for months during an austral winter. But now the Endurance has been found, who owns it and who should look after it? Well, it's ours. Simple.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, moving on.
Yeah.
These idiots know nothing, do they? I mean, it's like that.
Yeah.
How will we know if aliens are here? Well, because they're aliens.
Yeah.
But
Who
how would you know?
owns Shackleton's ship? Well, he's English, so we own it. There you go,
It's a
sorted.
bit like that recent thing with that congresswoman. Now, admittedly, she was a darkie, and you know that. And someone said, "Could you
Hobbit,
define
if she doesn't know what a woman is, then why was it a big thing that she was a woman on the court?
How do you know she's a woman?
How does she know she's a woman? She's not a biologist.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Only someone with a PhD in biology knows what a woman is.
Yeah.
So does that mean like Barry White was a meatloaf? Would
I
they?
don't know.
I do know.
You'd have to tip him upside down to find out.
I don't get it.
To find out if he's a woman or not.
Oh right, no, because that's not an indicator. No, I'm thinking like Barry White and what's his name, the other one, Meatloaf. They were both like PhDs in biology because
Were they?
they very huge dick, because they could know what a woman was.
Oh,
So
okay.
they did a lot of songs about women and how to make love to them, and what a woman wants.
I don't know. I thought Meatloaf
James
just sang
Brown.
about rock and roll and brew.
Oh, okay. I thought Meatloaf talked about like he'll do anything for love, but he won't do that.
Yeah, well, we know he won't do that.
Yeah,
Everyone knows he won't do that.
but he will do anything for love, just not that.
He won't do that.
No. He'll
Would you do
anything
that?
for love.
Would you do that a bit?
What? Get a woman, stick a finger in my bum?
Is that what that is?
I thought that's what it was. Yeah, I'd do that. I'd do one thing more than what Meatloaf would do for love.
Yeah.
But if she's got like fingernails, then no, because that's sharp and that would hurt, and Ian says that was anal, so yeah, finger in the bum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's seen a UK company has developed a working invisibility shield.
Oh, okay. No, but I was looking at another UK article about solar power station in space.
Well,
The UK government wants to build a solar power station in space. The UK government, yeah, we said that, £16 billion to build a station in space. Space-based solar power is one of the technologies to feature in the government's net zero innovation portfolio, and definitely wouldn't be weaponized as a microwave death beam. It's been identified as a potential solution, alongside others, to enable the UK to achieve net zero by 2050. You're the harm they want to reduce. Oh, I suppose a microwave death beam would do that, because you could just kill everyone with it. But how would a solar power station in space work? What are the advantages in space? What are the advantages and drawbacks to this technology? Space-based solar power involves collecting solar energy in space and transferring it to Earth. While the idea itself is not new, recent technological advances have made this prospect more achievable. The space-based solar power system involves a solar power satellite, an enormous spacecraft equipped with solar panels. These panels generate electricity, which is then wirelessly transmitted to Earth through high-frequency radio waves, or microwaves. The ground antenna, called a rectenna, no, that's a bullshit term, it's a receiver, it's used to convert the radio waves into electricity, which is then delivered to the power grid. A space-based power station in orbit is illuminated by the sun 24 hours a day and could therefore generate electricity continuously. This represents an advantage over terrestrial power systems, which can produce electricity only during the day and depend on the weather. With global energy demand projected to increase by nearly 50% by 2050, space-based solar power could be the key to helping meet the growing demand in the world's energy sector and tackling global temperature rise. A space-based solar power station is based on a modular design where a large number of solar modules are assembled by robots in orbit. Transporting all these elements into space is difficult, costly, and will take a toll on the environment. But who cares? Because we'll get China to do it for us. Because China will always supply us what we need,
China
and we'll never go to. Yeah, China will never go to war with us. The weight of the solar panels was identified as an early challenge. This has been addressed through the development of ultralight solar cells. A solar panel comprises smaller solar cells. Space-based solar power is deemed to be technically feasible primarily because of the advances in key technologies including lightweight solar cells, wireless power transmission, and space robotics. Importantly, assembling even just one space-based solar power station will require many space shuttle launches, but they don't exist anymore. Although space-based solar power is designed to reduce carbon emissions in the long run, there are significant emissions associated with space launches as well as costs. Space shuttles are not currently reusable, seeing as they're not being used at all. Although some companies like SpaceX are working on changing this, being able to reuse launch systems would significantly reduce the overall cost of space-based solar power. If we manage to successfully build a space-based solar power station, its operation faces several practical challenges. Solar panels could be damaged by space debris. Panels in space are not shielded by Earth's atmosphere. Being exposed to more intense solar radiation means they will degrade faster than those on Earth, which will reduce the power they're able to generate. Oh yeah, that's the thing. If you don't keep the panels cool, they're not able to generate efficiently, and eventually the solid state components seize up and stop working. So it'll be good for about 5 to 10 years, and then there's a very expensive mirror you got up there then.
Nice.
The efficiency of wireless power transmission is another issue. Transmitting energy across large distances, in this case from a solar satellite to space on the ground. Oh, sorry, a solar satellite in space to the ground is difficult. Based on the current technology, only a small fraction of collected solar energy would reach the Earth. The Space Solar Power Project in the US is developing high-efficiency solar cells, as well as a conversion and transmission system optimized for use in space. The US Naval Research Laboratory tested a solar module and power conversion system in space in 2020. Meanwhile, China has announced progress on their...
You mean China?
China. On their Bishan Space Solar Energy Station with the aim of having a functioning system by 2035. In the UK, a £17 billion space-based solar power development is to be a viable concept based on the recent Fraser-Nash consultancy report. The project is expected to start with small trials leading to operational solar power station in 2040. The solar power satellite would be 1.7 kilometers in diameter and weighing around 2,000 tons.
Alphabet Cat quite correctly said you'd need a massive wire to get the electric to the ground.
Yeah, well, no, you just use a microwave death ray, but you don't call it a death ray because then people get scared about it. Yeah. The terrestrial antenna takes up a lot of space, roughly 6.7 by 13 kilometers. Given the use of land across the UK, it's more likely to be placed offshore. The satellite would deliver 2 gigawatts of power to the UK. While this is a substantial amount of power, it is a small contribution to the UK's generation capacity, which is around 76 gigawatts. With extremely high initial cost and slow return on investment, the project will need substantial government resources as well as investments from private companies. But as technology advances, the cost of space, blah, blah, you said that bit. And then just a load of bullshit, blah, blah, blah. And it just, it's just jobs for the boys, really. Nothing will come of it. And that's implying that space is real, which we all know is fake.
Yep.
It's not real. It's
not
just
real.
made.
Never has been.
No, never will be.
Right, are we done?
Are we done?
Did you want to do the invisibility shield or put that in?
We can't just tease that and not
I'll
do
put it in general.
Yeah.
Well, you say it's an invisibility shield. It's like a blur square.
Oh, well, that's not as exciting.
Yeah.
it sounded more interesting when you said it was an invisibility shield.
No, it's a blurred square.
I feel like I've been bait and switched.
Yeah, you have been, kind of. It's not bad, though. It's not bad.
Well, whoever the journalist that did this needs to be flogged for, breach of trade descriptions.
It's pretty good, though, but I don't know why you can't get it to be...
It's a bit blurry.
do you see what I mean?
So it's a bit like camouflage, but not quite as good as camouflage.
Oh, the beach one looks all right. No, then but you talk about it. I'll put it up.
Oh, okay.
I'll put the video up.
I've totally got this thing in front of me with the invisibility cloak and stuff.
General Hobbit.
Oh, I'll click on that thing instead. General. UK company develops working invisibility shield. Move over Harry Potter. Fuck off, Harry Potter. Move over Predator. Cunt. Fuck this journalist. Who are you? What's your name? Who published this article? I don't care about the article anymore. I want to know. Source Kickstarter. Right, let's have a look at Kickstarter. Real work invisibility. The author of this article is an anonymous fucking coward who spends too much time reading Harry Potter and therefore is going to eat shit and die. So,
Yeah.
that's all you need to know on the article. Is whoever
What are you
wrote
going to
it-
say? Why? Go on then, Hobbit. Just say it.
Well, you just like move over Harry Potter. You're talking about invisibility.
But it's
You
not
don't
that
talk
good. You
about
can see his hands. Look where he's holding it.
yeah, but also like, mate, it's like Harry Potter. The first thing when you think of invisibility is Harry fucking Potter. Is that how much
You
like?
can actually faintly see people. It's interesting. I don't think it's powered though, is it, Hobbit? How does it work?
Cameras and it's a screen.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah.
Oh, it is a screen.
Sorry to
Because it
be
shows
like,
it shows the people. It shows bits of people behind, or is it when they get to? So there you go.
Yeah.
There's that.
Sorry to be all like
Bait and
pissy
switchy.
about them, but it's just that I refuse to read an article when they're talking about visibility and they don't talk about Star Trek cloaking Klingons or the Predator
Bird of
film with
prey.
his
Now the
cloak.
bird of prey. Now that was a spaceship.
Yeah, that was a cool looking spaceship.
It's not even cloaking, it's just blurring yourself out. Like
Yeah.
some Japanese porn, mate. I mean,
Joke's on you, I'm into that sort of shit.
Yeah. Anybody watch the Golden Guns 2022?
There was one?
Yeah.
I've noticed that Grossly Offensive has a cadence similar to Godwinson, even though they're not the same.
He must be a big fan of Godwinson, is all I can say.
Yeah. No, I didn't know there was a Golden Gun. You didn't get like any mentions in it.
I don't know. I didn't watch it. He's Billy Big Bollocks now, isn't he? PPP.
PP poo.
PP poo poo. He is PP
Yeah.
poo poo now.
He doesn't wash his underwear and just leaves the skid marks in them.
You've watched Grossley's new video then.
yeah. I've been listening to him and his boyfriend Surfer, who, like with the falling out what they done had. Yeah. And that how like his friend Bill or Wayne would come over and like share the same bed and be like, "Can I feel your tits?" And then PPP was like, "Oh, go on then. You can feel my tits.
No.
You can feel up my fat tits. I'm gonna smoke some weed. Feel my fat tits. We're winning. We're saving my race. Filling up my fat tits." Are we still streaming?
Yeah, we are. I think we're done, aren't we?
Sorry, PPP, but your sex life is funny.
Go away now. Stay spoopy.
Yeah. Ooh.